welcome everybody. Welcome to Do or Die Unzipped. This is our second time doing a podcast. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening on the road. Thank you for listening on any one of our servers. And guess we'll get started here. Obviously, my name is J Dog. Got Kit Kat here.
Hello.
Welcome to the chaos.
Duh, 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 duh. The absolute chaos of not knowing what's going to happen at any point. Because we squirrel way too much.
That we absolutely do. But we have fun doing it.
Alright.
Well, this past weekend was a very fun and eventful weekend. For some of you that may not know, or some of you that may have tuned in and watched us, we did do a 12-hour charity stream. I think it went pretty well this past weekend. Kat, what do you think about that?
It was definitely a challenge. Definitely a challenge, but it's all for a good cause. All for a good cause.
If I remember correctly, you had a bet, and you had to dye your hair green if that bet came around. Did you have to dye your hair green?
I dyed my hair green, yes.
Oh. How do you like the green hair?
I'm getting used to it. I look a bit like the Joker sometimes when I do the slick back.
What do you have the cane like the Joker and stuff like that too?
I do.
Oh, you gotta poke people then. You're just like me.
Poke him. Get out my fucking way.
Well, I say we'll try to keep this episode a lot shorter than the last one, but I can't guarantee that. The last episode we kind of squirreled, and next thing you know, it was an hour long. And I think we only got to talk about a quarter of what we actually wanted to talk about.
Indeed. I think we touched on a few topics, didn't we? Of a couple of things, do or die related. How we became do or die is quite a one that people want to know. The story behind us, how we came about to know each other, and I think go from there.
Well, I'll let you kick it off, and I guess I'll let you start this off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
How did we come about do or die?
Well, myself and J Dog, we met each other over a year ago now. Probably a year and a half ago, probably, on another server. That server failed for us. They're still alive and kicking. as a server. We decided it's time for us to do our own thing. I had the tools of being there for 2 years, and the server owner over there taught me a lot. You know, and then I think you with the coding background more than me. Don't get me wrong, I can still code, but nowhere near anything that you can do. So we combined the great minds and come up with the name of Do or Die. We were originally Do or Die PvE, weren't we?
That we were when we first started. If I remember correctly, when we first started, we said, "All right, we're going to," we started out at like a 34 slot server for DayZ on the PlayStation, and we said we'll never go from there. That's where we'll go. We'll be amazed if we just get one person to play with us. Um, and that has blossomed to today. We have roughly 13 servers, DayZ across all platforms, Arma servers, Arc servers, and that's just the beginning. We're not even a year old yet since we've launched. We have over 1,000 Discord members total, which is crazy to think in not even a year's time. Where we've grown from where we were. Um, I am beyond speechless with where we are. I never thought that we would be here with everything that we have. Like I said, I would be tickled and thrilled when we had one person. When we actually had one person try to join our server before we even launched to the public. But he started. He played on a previous server that had the same name that unfortunately didn't go so well. I guess they shut down. I want to say a couple years prior to us. We had no idea, no regulation of that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was the exact do or die. It was something else a little bit different, but it was kind of the same concept. But I think you know from that server, that whatever that server was to our server, um, we have an amazing community behind us. We can't please everybody in the community, but we also we do our best. But again, like I said, to see 1,000 Discord members and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we had close to 10,000 members total that's been in our server on all four of our PlayStation servers at least.
I reckon it's about that. I reckon it's about that. Excuse me.
And to think that we've had, that many people come through our servers, that's just mind blowing to me.
I can't
Yeah.
put into words the I can't put into words. Having 1,000 people, and I know I said this last time, but like having 1,000 people in Discord, and within a year of us basically working our ass off, advertising like no tomorrow and word of mouth, for you all listening right now. You have a good experience on a server and you pass that information on to a group of buddies. They then have a group of buddies who has a group of buddies who has a group of buddies. Two seconds. That was my niece. Dear. See, I've scrolled now. And 10,000 people across the servers and on DayZ anyway, all together in total, is just a crazy amount. I don't understand how we've had that many.
Well, I think I've heard a little bit about some of the people that's been in our servers. Some of you that may be listening live on Do or Die servers, or maybe that you're just tuning in, or if you watch this, later, a week from now, a month from now, whatever. But I think a lot of people, you find a good server, you find things that are different than other servers. We do our best to try to change things up periodically. I know we have some big things coming in the next wipe that we do, but changing things up, keeping things fresh. I mean, as a console community, primarily, it's hard to keep things fresh. It's hard to keep things constantly moving and being different than other servers out there. Um, there's only so much you can do in a console community that's different than other servers that doesn't cause so much lag that you can't even have fun to play the game. If you're like on our PC server, you're kind of you can kind of do whatever you want, and there's no limitations. You're only limited to your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
You can, if you can think of it, you can build it and it can be done. On community members, community servers that are on console, unfortunately, you're limited. You can't just build something and it work. And you're limited on, unfortunately, we have one provider and it's Nitrado. I know a lot of people diss how bad Nitrado is, but those are also people who's probably have never come across other providers. I can vouch that as much as I hate Nitrado, for certain things that they do, I feel like they could be better at certain things. But from other providers, their support is top notch compared to other providers. So I will give them a round of applause. For what they do. I think they get a lot more backlash than they do good that they do. I know it's we get that quite a bit. We have a month of great service and then one day that's just horrible, and then we're always backlashing how bad they are. I know I'm pretty bad about that, but I've had other providers that's you just don't get that level of I would say trust, but it's not really trust. It's more what's the word I'm looking for?
Just the same level of support.
Support.
As well. I know, like, when we were trying to sort out our PC server and trying to find the right provider for what we wanted, I just didn't know. know.
There's quite a few of them that were in the community, and everyone says, well, this one's the best provider that you can possibly get as a PC side. Yeah, I get that on PC side. Yes, I can create my own server and host it through my computer, and my computer could be the the brains of everything, but my computer can't. As much as I do, I can't just do that. I don't have the I run almost 10 consoles constantly all day long, 3 computers. I just can't do that. That's so for me it's easier to rent it from a provider, let them deal with all the back end stuff. But when I have problems with things that that's on their end and they want to sit there and tell me it's not, or my server's not coming up because they're telling me something isn't whitelisted, and I'm like, well, I'm the creator of it. There's no whitelist involved. I go right back to the one that I had no problems with. ones that when I have a problem, they'll give me all the information that is needed. And if anybody of you have ever I've used this provider, I'll just go ahead and say it. It's GTX Gaming. That's what we currently use for the PC server. And yeah, to me that's top notch service for the PC side, anyways, from other providers that we've tried to use. I would use Nitrado, but there's limitations on the CPU and GPU that you can use. Being that we're trying to use the we have Dare Isles, which I know is a heavily modified map, so it uses a lot of computing power. So we're constantly needing to upgrade or downgrade depending on what we're adding in, and unfortunately, Nitrado doesn't give you those abilities to do that. At least not for the PC side for DayZ. They're more heavily focused on, no offense, Minecraft users, but that's what they mostly focus on there. They give you a lot more benefits for Minecraft servers. To me, I don't get Minecraft, but I'm not a Minecraft type of person. Never have been.
Nala saying hello, everybody.
But as far as how we became Do or Die, I think we kind of scrolled a little bit again.
We did. We did. And choosing the name was pretty easy. Coming up with it, and DayZ, and that's how we started. It is literally you do or you die. If you're just gonna stand there and do nothing, then you're gonna end up on the coast if you're not already on the coast. If you do, you end up finding the loot you need, building a base, surviving, bringing your shit to trader to sell to us so we can give you some money so you can buy more stuff and live and survive. And when we removed the PvE, obviously at the time we had a PvE. We still technically have a PvE, but it is like 90% PvP, 10% PvE, and that is purely just to protect the DJ inside of said trader.
Yes, as much as I love running from the coast, I don't particularly want to do that all the time. One of my DJ accounts, I do it enough. On my main account from dying from our fun adventures of fist fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to do that all the time. It's hard to believe that we're already 20 minutes into the podcast here. But to get back on track with how we became Do or Die, I mean, like Kat was saying, we both came from a previous server. She was there for a couple of years. I was there for about 6-7 months, something like that. And those were the worst months ever of my DayZ career. And that was kind of my first time joining and getting my feet wet and staying into a community server. It was being on that server, and that was by far the worst experience ever. And it wasn't the community; it was unfortunately for me, it was the server owner, the guy who owned the server, and I was a quote unquote part of their staff team, and that was that was a nightmare in itself. We've all heard of shit server owners. I think if most of you knew the server, you would know the backstory. You would know the person that if you go to any forums, he is constantly a trigger for a lot of people, and
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing good ever said on him on forums.
Nope.
But we've left that community. We've left the all of that behind. We created our, we didn't actually anticipate on creating a server. It just kind of happened. It wasn't a thing that we didn't immediately leave and say, "Yep, let's open one." We kind of left and we said, "Okay, what do we do now? Do we go to another community and hope that it's better? Do we try to start our own and see where it goes?" There was a lot of back and forth, and I did have some background in coding, but just like anybody, everything's always different. Just because you're a coder doesn't mean that's, or even an engineer for that matter, doesn't mean that everything that happens when you first start. So it was a tad bit of a learning curve with opening up. I think it was one of those. We'll see how it goes for a month. See if we like it, and we'll go from there. And then with our first month, we had, I think about almost 1,000 members join into our server. We had over 100 members into our Discord at that time, and it kind of just grew. It just kind of grew from there.
Yep.
We try to do things different, like Cass says. We do have things different on our server. We do monthly giveaways. We give back to the community as much as we possibly can. We're not somebody who likes to take. We prefer to give than we do like to take.
Non-profit.
Pretty much. Now, don't get me wrong, we do have a website where you can buy merch and stuff like that, but we do not make a very much of a margin from that. I would say probably less than 10%.
Yep.
I prefer than if anything that comes in, it goes straight back into the community. But I've never been that way. Like custom bases and stuff, you can purchase those for anybody who's out there right now listening to, our podcast on the, or our live podcast on our servers. We offer custom bases, custom car spawns, water wells, gas pumps, stuff like that. You can purchase with your economy cash on a monthly basis. You basically pay a monthly rent, and those items can be spawned at your feet, so to speak. We have custom things built. Kat here is an amazing builder. She's kind of she got her feet wet into building after she got her new computer, and yeah, you kind of just took off from there.
Yep, definitely. It's definitely opened up new challenges, and I'm like, right, okay, so how can I do this? What can I build that's different? And Livonia obviously having the Grim Reapers and the astronauts. Okay, I got inspiration from somebody else and I saw it and was like, I'm going to give that a go. I'm going to build it. So I did. And now we have them on the server. I'm working on a lot of things in the background. Thank you. Ready for Wipe. I work on my own things in the background in preparation for Wipe, and Jadol will be working on his stuff in the background. We never crisscross, because then there's just confusion and it breaks things. I'll build all the new stuff for you all to see. J-Dog will do all the coding and make sure everything's in properly, and 129 we're getting the new objects and new stuff, new clothes, new backpacks. And make sure they're all in and you can find them or craft them, for that matter. There's going to be some new stuff coming in with Wipe. New stuff indeed. Maybe we can talk about that in a later podcast when we know 129's coming out. Right now, we just don't know.
No, I
Can't
think
give
we
you a
touched
date.
base on it last week. That unfortunately, there's still just no news on that.
Not even a stream that's hinted at it.
No, and it's you're getting right us almost into February, and it's like they've I feel like they're not doing a very great job keeping the community updated um on what's going on. I feel like 129 is going to come out, and you're going to have like 2 days to prepare, and they're going to say they recommend us everybody doing a hard wipe because of the economy changes that they're doing. A lot of the economy changes is pretty significant, especially on Chernarus and Livonia. I know there's a lot of updates coming for like new items coming for Sakal, but a lot of the economy changes are happening on the other two servers. A lot of the back end that's most of the community and most people don't look at. They mostly look at what type of new items are coming in, not the back end economy changes. Like the fact that they're not going to group you together with spawning in. That's a huge difference compared to what it used to be. I
And you
mean,
won't ever spawn in the same spot either. Like some people and us, we do it too. You unalive yourself so many times in the game to get a certain spawn. They're turning that off.
now it's
Thank
supposed to
God.
be completely random, and like I said, it's no more grouping. It's not like 5 minutes. Okay, you have 5 minutes, and this group is going to spawn in the Berezino. You give it a few more minutes. Okay, now this group is going to spawn in Cherno. There's no more of that. It's all going to be different. Or like on Livonia, Topolinki or Sidnik. It's all going to be random every time you die. There's no more grouping, which I think is pretty amazing. I'm going to enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
Well, Kat, I know we wanted to do a little bit of a shorter podcast. Our main server resets in about 4 minutes. I think that's a perfect time to close the podcast. That puts us a little over 30 minutes of a podcast. Um, is there anything you would want to talk about before the podcast ends?
Um, you've put me on the spot now. I don't think so. I know we wanted to go a bit more into detail and how we became Do or Die. There's going to be plenty of podcasts in the future. We can talk about lots of different things, discuss things, take player questions too. If you guys want to ask us questions whilst we're live on the podcast, there is a link in the Discord that you can join. And you can just pop a message in the chat room and we can see it.
I mean, if we get enough people wanting it, I mean, I would even do some call-ins if if it became a thing. I'd be down to talk with you guys live while we're just out here chit chatting. Ask us some questions while we're live. But let's see what the community wants. See what y'all decide.
It's going to be fun. Going to be see where this goes, and we definitely unzipped Do or Die today.
That we have, you know, um, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I appreciate every one of you. I never thought that we would be where we are today. I never thought that I'd be doing a live podcast, let alone my first time really streaming. Doing Twitch and all that stuff's a whole new learning thing for me. I'm probably going to be hopefully try to stream a little bit this upcoming weekend. Get at least one more stream in this week. We'll see. It won't be a long stream, not like what we not like last week, but I may do like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hour stream and go from there. But yeah, again, thank you all for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. And going forward, we'll again we try to do a podcast live every Wednesday around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or 5 p.m. UK time.
Indeed. But technical difficulties. It's going to happen. It will happen.
It does.
2 seconds.
But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, I am stay tuned for next week. This week was to kind of discuss how we became Do or Die. Next week, I don't know exactly 100% what we'll talk about, but Kat, do you have any ideas on what you might want to talk about next week before we end this?
I think it was like craziest admin stories that we've had on Do or Die so far, craziest ways we've died. Oh boy, have we got some stories lined up.
Oh, ain't that the truth? But you guys will have to tune in or listen to us next week when we do episode number 3. Thank you all for tuning in today, and I wish y'all nothing but a great rest of your day, and be safe out there.
Thank you. Take it easy, guys. I'm sure we'll see you around.